So let's do some more completing the square here. Whoops. Jumping all around. Okay. So, again, separate that plus 10 out. And we'll pretend like it factors here. We're looking for two numbers that add to make -3 and that are the same number. So this one's a little bit trickier, right? Because we'll have to, well, let's just divide the 3 by 2. So we'll get 3 halves. And 3 halves. Which means this number right here that we're missing is going to be a positive 9/4. Again, it's just the 3 halves and the 3 halves. Again, to balance it out, we'll have to subtract a 9/4 too. Okay, so then 10 take away 9/4. Well, 10 is the same thing as 40/4. So take away 9/4 would be 31/4. And so our final answer here would be y minus 3 halves squared plus 31/4. Okay, let's try this next one. Put the plus 6 on the outside there. So again, these two numbers here, okay, they have to add to make 7 and they need to be the same. So we're going to do just half of those. Like so. Okay? But then as a result, we're missing, actually, you know what, I skipped too much here. Let's do it this way. There we go. So again, we said 7 halves. It's always going to be half that middle term there that gets you these two numbers. And then what's missing here is going to be this times this, right? So it'll be 49/4. And of course, we can't just bring 49/4 out of nowhere, so we also are going to balance it by putting a minus 49/4 over here. Okay, so remember 6 is the same thing as 24/4, so 24 take away 49 is going to be negative 25/4. And so that's our final answer here. It's going to be k plus 7/2 squared minus 25/4. Okay, let's keep going. Why don't you pause the video here and try some of these on your own? Okay, see what you can do. I know these are decimals, but again, the same principle applies. Divide this middle term by 2. That'll give you what you're going to add in there. Then multiply these two numbers together to figure out what is going to be your new c term. Okay. All right. Hopefully you paused the video and tried it out. Oops. So I'll go ahead and do it this way: z squared minus 0.2z. Leave a space plus the 1.5. Okay. We'll have z and z. Half of that's going to be negative 0.1. Okay, and so then what's missing here, it's going to be the negative 0.1 times the negative 0.1, which is going to be positive 0.01. And then we'll subtract 0.01 from this side. Okay, which means when we add these two things together, combining like terms there, we're going to have 1.49. Okay, which then means we'll have z minus 0.1 squared plus 1.49. All right, continuing on here. Again, separating out that 0.1. Okay, again, p and p. Half of that is going to be 0.25, which means that we're missing right here 0.0625. Didn't leave myself much space there. There we go. And we'll subtract 0.0625. So 0.1 minus 0.0625 gives us 0.0375. And so our answer here will be p plus 0.25 squared plus 0.0375. Okay, all right, 9 and 10, last two here. J squared minus 3/4 j, and put that 3/4 out there. J and a j. Okay, so yep, again, half of 3/4 is going to be 3/8. So minus 3/8 minus 3/8, which means this term will be negative 3/8 times negative 3/8, which is 9/64. Okay, which means we'll have to subtract 9/64 over here. All right, 3/4, we can convert that to 9/64, or we convert it to 64ths by multiplying by 16. So this will be 48/64 minus 9/64 will give us 39/64. Okay, so this will equal then j minus 3/8 squared plus 39/64. All right, last one here, we have like a bunch of variables, all right, so, but same principles still apply. So again, we'll do x squared minus bx, put the plus c here on the outside, half that middle term, so we'll do minus b over 2, or 1/2 b if you like, and x minus b over 2. And again, where does this number come from? It's going to be this times this. Okay, so what's negative b over 2 times negative b over 2? It's going to be positive b squared over 4. And then we'll subtract b squared over 4 here. Now with these, we can't really combine easily, so we're just going to have to rewrite plus c minus b squared over 4. And so the final answer will be x minus b over 2 squared plus c minus b squared over 4. And here you kind of have a formula for any completing the square that you ever want to do, if you have a minus b at least. Okay. So there's our answers. So in summary here, just as factoring a quadratic expression can be useful for solving a quadratic equation, completing the square also provides a form that facilitates solving a quadratic equation. Now granted, we didn't solve any equations here, but you can see that from this form, okay, so like from this form right here, for example, if this were equal to something, you know, like say that, okay, equals 10, you could add 16 to both sides, equals 26, and then square root both sides, right, to get rid of that square there. It'd be plus or minus the square root of 26, and then add the 1 to both sides. And voila, there would be your two answers. No factoring necessary, okay, because you could just use the square roots. So completing the square helps us to be able to set up to solve using square roots if we wanted to. Okay, all right, we'll stop the video there, and we'll see you next lesson.